I'm Anna D'Ambrosio, the president of Munson Williams Proctor Arts Institute in Utica, New York. At the Institute, we have 3 program divisions: a Museum of Art, a Performing Arts division, and a School of Art. And our School of Art has 2 programs: a fabulous community arts program that offers classes for kids through adults, and the Pratt MWPAI College of Art and Design, an affiliate of Pratt Institute in Brooklyn. I'm going to focus on the Museum of Art and our salt glazed stoneware collection. Gathered over the last 50 years, the museum has about 300 pieces of stoneware in its collection, and that's just a fraction of the about 15,000 fine and decorative American works that we have in the museum's holdings. Most of the pieces in the salt glazed stoneware collection are made by White's Pottery in Utica. Utica's location made it perfect for ceramics production. It was connected to the Erie Canal, which opened in 1825. Later in the 19th century, there were 4 railroads that intersected in Utica, and it had extensive freight yards. So it made it easy for the clay to be shipped from Long Island and New Jersey to Utica, and then the finished products to be shipped pretty far afield. Noah White came to Utica in the late 1820s and first opened his stoneware production in 1834. And through many permutations, the White family ran that stoneware business from 1834 through 1910. There were other ceramics and other potters that came in and out of Utica, but it's the White's family that dominated Oneida County stoneware. The variety of forms varied from butter churns to all shapes of crocks and jugs to forms as varied as canteens, bean pots, steins, water coolers, pitchers in every shape and form. So much can be learned from the study of 19th century stoneware. We can appreciate it for its decoration and how that decoration reflected the culture that produced it. For example, from the 1830s through the 1860s, there was an influx of German immigrants. So we see the pieces produced at White's Pottery reflecting that German tradition in decoration and in form. Wonderful steins with scenes that are derived from German imagery and even have German wording on them. White's pieces are characterized by phenomenal cobalt decoration. Most of it is executed freehand, as seen as this jug and this butter churn here in front of me. But in the late 1870s and 1880s, they did also start to produce molded ware. And it's with the molded ware we see much more 3-dimensional decoration, and at that same time, sometimes the introduction of polychrome. So you see multiple colored glazes, not just the beautiful cobalt decoration, but also brown and green glazes used. On White's pieces, the early pieces are glazed on the inside with Albany slip. You can see this dark glaze on the butter churn. And that is a clay body that was from Albany, New York, and brought along the Erie Canal to Utica. The later pieces often have a Bristol or whiter glaze on the inside, and that's what's typically found on the molded pieces of White's made in the 1880s through the turn of the 20th century. So White's Pottery is known for the wonderful blue decorations that were executed either freehand or sometimes with stencils. Birds, like you see here on this butter churn, were one of the popular motifs with great tails, sometimes with a much more rounded tail called a paddle tail. Other motifs include deer, which you see on stoneware made in other places in New England, as well as flowers, baskets of flowers, and sometimes just the name of the company for which the jug or the crock was being produced. So one of the great things about these pieces and thinking about Utica history and Oneida County history is that you can see jugs and crocks, water coolers that were made for businesses here in Utica. So it's a great connection to study social history in addition to the history of the ceramics. When we think about stoneware and how it was an essential element in nearly all 19th century homes, it's hard to believe that not a lot of it survives today. For something that was once ubiquitous and taken for granted, it's now prized for what it teaches us about culture and about art. We carry on the tradition of creating beautiful salt glazed stoneware at our School of Art at Munson Williams Proctor Arts Institute in Utica.